guys, Marco the dog trainer here. Today we're going to be doing a really quick comparison video of the Dogtra 200C and the Dogtra Arc. As always, all the links are going to be posted in the video description, so feel free to check those out. Now, before we get too far into this, I wanted to make a little side note that if you've seen any of my other videos on the channel, you've probably heard me talk about the 280C before. I just want you guys to understand that the 200C and the 280C are pretty much the same collar. There's just some differences with what the remote is like. So before you make any kind of final decisions on which collar you're getting, especially if you're thinking about getting the 200, I would highly recommend that you check out the 280 to see if you would prefer that model instead. But now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the 200 versus the Arc, okay? So out of all the collars I talk about on this channel, let's say that my hands are going to be the middle of the road here, okay? Where the 200C is going to be a little bit more for like small up to medium, and the Arc is going to be a little bit more for like medium up to large. Now, there are models on both extremes that will help cover those extremes a little better, like models for very small dogs and models for very big dogs. But these two models just happen to straddle the middle of the spectrum a little bit. So let's say, again, 200, a little weaker, a little smaller. The Arc, a little bigger, a little stronger. Okay, so let's take a closer look at both of these models so I can walk you through everything that you need to know. Okay, guys, we've got the Dogtra 200C on the left, and we've got the Dogtra Arc on the right. So let's really quickly run through the similarities, and then I'll walk you through the key differences. So both of these systems are pretty much as waterproof as this type of stuff can get. Both of these systems have the adjustable contact point, so if we wanted to add on longer or shorter ones, we could. Both of these systems come with a strap that's a little bit longer than what we need, so we can either cut it down to size or replace it with a different color or a different strap that we just like a little bit more. Both of these systems are going to come with the Nick constant and vibrate stimulation. They both come with the lanyard, and they're both going to turn on and off the same way, that they have this kind of red dot magnet system. So the red dots on the back of the remote are going to sync up to the red dots on the collars to turn them on and turn them off. And then let's see here. And again, they both come with the option for a belt clip. So that's what these little like screw holes are for. Okay, but now that kind of leads me into our differences here, where the 200 does not actually come with the clip in the box, but you could buy it separately and add it on if you wanted to. Where the Arc, it does come in the box, so if you wanted, you could just screw it on. Now, the next difference that you're going to see is that the Arc has got a couple extra buttons on it. So the Arc, right out of the box, can be upgraded to a 2-dog system. So I could buy a second collar and just hook it up to the orange buttons to make this a 2-dog system. Where the 200 is just a little more challenging to make a 2-dog system, so I could pay Dogtra and send them this remote, and they'll add some buttons in, and then I could buy a second collar to hook up to it. Or right out of the gate, before I bought anything, I could buy what they call the 202 system, which is basically the same thing. It's just a 2-dog system. So it comes with 2 collars and a remote. Okay, now the next difference, we already kind of talked about it, is going to be the strength of these collars. Okay, so again, the Arc is a little bit stronger. The 200 is a little bit weaker. Now, kind of correlates with that, the distance that the remotes connect to the collars. The 200 connects up to about a half a mile, and the Arc connects up to 3/4 of a mile. Okay, now the last kind of big difference here is like you're going to see that the Arc has got this backlit digital display screen. So it tells you, how charged the battery is on the remote, and you can really, really precisely adjust the level of stimulation. Okay, where the 200 just comes with like a kind of typical dial. Now, let's say you really, really like the digital display, but you don't want the Arc. There is another model that I've kind of referenced called the Dogtra 280, which is basically the same system. It just comes with the backlit screen instead of the dial. So outside of that, I think that's really everything you guys need to know as far as the similarities and differences between these two different models. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.